Good morning. Happy Sunday. Thanks for being here this morning. Namaste. I'm so excited to have you all here. Little post holiday stretch and meditation. And if your day has been anything like mine, just need some relaxation, some time to just be with yourself and connect in. So let me get set up. We may have some new little characters running across the screen. I'm going to try this with our puppy Ursa today. See if she can respect the space. So we'll be doing a couple of things all at once. Prop list for today. Blocks if you have them, or books will work as well. A yoga strap. We're going to be using that to stretch our legs today. Blanket if you have it, and a bolster if you have it. All this is optional. This is Ursa. We're going to see if we can get her to settle down and respect the yoga. So bear with us. So let's find a nice comfortable seat on your mat. Inviting yourself into the space. Find that this can be a good exercise because we don't always have complete peace and quiet. So learning to block out the rest of the world, connect in, just you and your mat for this morning. So finding a comfortable seat, arriving in the space, inviting yourself, no matter where you are in the world, inviting yourself to be present in the here and now. Taking notice of where your body meets the floor or the mat. Feeling along your base, creating a strong base, and inviting the breath here. I'm going to open us with a brief chant of Om Mani Padme Hum. And it's a call for peace. It's a celebration of gratitude. So just allowing this to bring you front and center, arriving here. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Good. Now inviting in the breath. Feeling the breath as it initiates in your root. Inhaling it up through the sacrum, through the power center, the belly, up through the chest, the heart, up through the throat, through the nostrils, up towards the crown of the head, and then release out, coming back down through the crown, through the throat, through the chest, the belly, and rooting the breath down into the ground. Let's do one more of those together, feeling the breath as it rises through the root, coming up through the belly, up through the chest cavity, expressing through the heart, through the throat, releasing the jaw up through the crown, and back down. Exhaling down through the crown, relaxing the face, down through the throat, through the chest, the belly, down through the sacrum, rooting the breath down into the ground, connecting with Mother Earth. Good. And we're going to do some retention breath work here. Today we're going to do a one-sided retention on the top of the breath. If it feels best for you to also retain at the bottom, I invite you to do so. But I'm going to be cueing for a retention at the top of the breath. So it's going to look like this. We'll inhale for 5. Retain the breath at the top. You can activate your throat lock if you'd like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. And then release. And then we'll inhale again for 5. Retain at the top. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. Flow into the inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Retain at the top. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do 3 more breath cycles at your own pace, finding the ratio that works best for you today. Let's do 1 more breath cycle, checking in with your alignment. Strong back, straight spine. Allow the retained breath at the top to lift you up. Imagine your chest floating above the water, and then exhale. Good. Beautiful. Reconnect with your base. If you want to switch the overlap of your legs, now is a good time to do so. Since many of us tend to eat differently and engage differently in the world around the holidays, we're going to do some digestive exercises as well today. So we're going to start with Sufi grinds. You can just begin warming up the spine, a little shake here and there. We're going to begin by going to the right side, so you can lean your rib cage, solid foundation through the legs, but lean the rib cage over to the right. We're going to pair this with the breath. We're going to begin rotating around the circumference of the pelvic bowl. I like to inhale across the front side, exhaling along the back side of the rotation, and finding a cadence or a pace that works with your breath, allowing the breath to lead the motion. Just begin gently massaging the internal organs, digestive system, waking up the body here. Allowing the rib cage to open with the breath. Let's take 3 more full rotations on this side. And now begin imagining through the center channel of the body, the Sushumna, the main energy channel from the root up to the crown. Imagine a tetherball pole there and just begin wrapping your body around that internal tetherball pole until eventually you come seated in the middle, firmly planted on your foundation. Good. You can wiggle the shoulders, maybe the neck a little bit, doing whatever feels right for you. And let's take a breath in together. We'll inhale for 5. Retain at the top. Exhale for 5. Good. And then taking an inhale and an exhale at your own pace. Letting it go. Feeling the body, noticing any new awakening and awareness in the body. And on the next inhale, we'll take the rib cage over to the left side. And we'll begin rotating around the circumference of the pelvic bowl, rotating left this time, pairing with the breath. Once again, I like to inhale around the top, exhale along the bottom of the rotation or the back side of the rotation. But find what's right for you today. Allow the body to express and speak to you if you come up against a point of tension. Take a moment, breathe. Invite the body to release anything you've been holding on to, any stagnant energy in the body. Let's take 3 more rotations on this side. Pause here for a moment for some correction. I've got crystal loving pup. That's good. All right, and when you're ready, begin imagining that internal tetherball pole once again, up and down vertically through the midline of the body. Just begin wrapping yourself around that internal tetherball pole. You can allow the shoulders to open here, the chest to open here, finding the fluid motion that feels good for you. When you're ready, we'll meet back in center, tall spine. We'll take an inhale breath here together. Inhale for 5. Retain at the top. Exhale for 5. And let it go. Take an inhale and an exhale breath at your own pace. Good. So we're going to do a little bit of a spine opening here, and I'm going to present you with some options. So we can pair this with the breath. So you can have cactus arms, or you can place your fingertips on your shoulder blades, finding where your range of motion is at today and what feels right for you. On the rotation to the right, we're going to inhale, exhale, rotation to the left. And this is a controlled inhale and exhale. Oh, inhale and exhale. And once again, you're finding the pace that's right for you today. So you may be here, or you might be here. Somewhere in between. And once again, you can play with the arms. Fingertips on top of shoulders, keeping the shoulder girdle strong. Just begin awakening the spine. Ursa, sit. Ursa, our new puppy, is learning all about boundaries, and it's really inspiring to watch as she learns the boundaries of all the people and beings in our household. All right, when you're ready, you can find center and just begin rotating the shoulders. Just a shoulder shrug backwards, opening up the shoulders, warming up the shoulders. Don't forget to breathe. And then we'll switch and begin rotating the shoulders forward. Take a couple more rotations here. And then before we get moving here, we're just going to do one more breath. Hold and release. Releasing tension out of the trunk of the body, the nasal passages. So the way that this looks is you're going to do a sharp inhale and shrug up. So any tension, stress you might be carrying through the shoulders, through the chest, we're going to inhale that up, and then on an audible exhale, let it go, pushing it down into the ground. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. 3 more at your own pace. Inhale. Good. One more. Let it out. Let it all melt down into the mat. Let's take one more breath here together. Inhale for 5. Retain at the top. Exhale for 5. And then taking a breath at your own pace. Very good. All right, good morning. So let's just take a moment, wiggle it out. And when you're ready, we're going to find ourselves on all fours. Get some of these props out of the way. We're going to start with cat-cow. If you'd like a blanket under your knees, feel free to put something down. Good. We're going to start here. Flat back, a strong foundation through the legs. Ursa, go get your twin. Tops of the feet are flat against the ground, spreading all 5 fingers out on the mat. And we're going to inhale Dipping the belly down. We're actually stretching along the low back, allowing the shoulders to drop back towards the spine, opening the upper back. Chin reaches up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, we're going to reverse that. So curving the spine up, creating a C shape along the back side or the inside, front side of the body. Tucking the chin and breathing along the back side. And then like a wave, inhale, coming through, dipping the belly down, shoulder blades come towards the spine, gaze goes upward. Exhale, down into cat. Spine curves, creating a C shape along the front side of the body. Now taking this at your own pace, just opening up the spine, cat, cow. Good. On the next inhale breath, we're going to take a quick pause down in child's pose. So bringing your weight back towards the heels. If it's early in the morning and you need to roll a blanket underneath your knees, you can do that. We'll bring hands out in front of us, palms flat on the floor, forehead down to the mat. And allowing the breath to open the low back here. Good. On the next inhale, come back up to all fours. We're going to do some shoulder opening with thread the needle. So we're going to begin in tabletop on all fours, finding your right hand. We're going to reach the right hand up to the ceiling above us, stretching through the shoulders. And on the exhale, we're going to take the right hand, thread it through underneath left armpit so that our shoulder comes to rest on the floor. You can leave right ear on the floor, or you can put your forehead on the floor. Left arm can stay here in a supportive position, palm and forearm on the floor, or you can stretch it out in front of you for a deeper stretch. Feeling the stretch all along the left side, the lats, the upper arm, through activating to the forearm, through the hands. Same thing with our right arm, activating here. Allowing the shoulder to open with the breath. Inhale and exhale. On your next inhale, begin bringing the left hand back down to support yourself. We're going to come back into one arm tabletop, drawing the right arm through. You can complete the posture by bringing it back up towards the ceiling, counter stretch, and then bringing the right hand or right palm down to the floor. And we're going to repeat this on the left side. So, placing the weight in the right hand, feet firmly planted, tops of the feet firmly planted on the floor. Left arm reaches up towards the sky. On the exhale, threading it through underneath right armpit. Left shoulder comes to the floor. You have a couple of options here. You can leave your left ear on the floor. Right arm can stay in a supportive posture, or you can place your forehead on the floor and extend the right arm for a deeper stretch. No matter where you are, connecting with the breath. Allow the breath to open up the shoulder. Good. And when you're ready, on the next inhale, bringing the right hand back to support. You're going to come up to one arm. You can finish the posture by extending the left arm up to the ceiling and then exhaling it down to the ground. And we're going to exhale down into child pose one more time. From here, it seems appropriate to go into a puppy stretch. So if we're in child's pose, hi, you're doing okay. If we're in child's pose, take the inhale up to tabletop. And from here, we can take ourselves down to puppy pose. Puppy pose is very similar to downward dog, but our knees stay on the floor. We're actually going for a stretch of the upper shoulders. So coming down, Ursa, sit, 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 good girl. There's so many fun things in this world. Ready? Tell everybody to be patient. So coming down to your forearms, you can place your chin on the mat if that's comfortable for you, or you can leave it off the mat. We're going to take a brief pause. Hey, Wood. I need you to come get her, please. Well, she did pretty good for day one, don't you think? All right, so puppy pose in honor of our puppy. We're on our forearms here, and then you can begin stretching out. Tailbone comes up to the sky. Chest onto the mat as close as possible. You can bring the blankets to support. If you can't get your chin, you can rest your forehead on the floor. Feeling this through the tops of the shoulders, through the armpits. Feet are flat, tops of feet flat on the floor. Breathing here. Good. On the next exhale, begin bringing the arms close into the body, bringing the chest up off the floor. Good. And we're going to sit back into a hero's pose. Taking a breath together here. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Good. So we're going to counterbalance all of that active shoulder stretch. So transitioning ourselves onto our back. Let's start in a staff pose. So we'll start seated. You can remove the flesh out from underneath the seat bones. Legs stretched out in front of you. Hands are going to be by your hips on the floor. If you need the blocks to support, if your hands don't reach the floor, you can do that. And beginning with the spine, the foundation, we're going to stack the spine. I like to imagine an invisible cord from the top of my crown up to the ceiling, stretching, aligning the spine, and then paying attention or activating the toes. Toes are pointed up towards the ceiling. They're not pointed or flexed. Just active, reaching towards the ceiling. And then there's a moderate in-turning of the inner thighs, so a moderate rotation inward at the upper thighs. So if you imagine just right at the groin, the inside of the groin, where the groin and the thighs meet, those points dipping down slightly without changing the alignment of the feet. So it's a very slight rotation, activating the sacrum, the psoas muscle. There's a lot activating here, as well as the lower abdominal muscles, inner thighs. Breathing here. Good. On your next exhale, release. We're going to come lying on our backs on the floor. And we're going to come into fish pose. So you can do this one of two ways. Legs can stay straight, or you can come into a bound angle with the legs, which is butterfly, or bringing the heels together, toes together, just underneath the groin, and then allowing the legs to flop open. Once again, you can be here, or you can keep your straight leg. And then you're going to want to roll the shoulders underneath you. Begin to tuck the elbows in by the hips slightly. And you're going to start coming onto the elbows so that your chest is raised slightly off the ground. Rolling the shoulders back. Opening up across the sternum. And then lying the crown of the head onto the floor. So we are extending or stretching through the front of the chest, across the top of the shoulders, across the sternum. Fish pose. Just allow yourself to breathe here. Moderate back bend, opening the chest. First one of the day for most of us. So just allow yourself to breathe here. Good. On the next exhale, you can release the arms, release the head. Lying back into reclined bound angle. If your feet are not already in bound angle, you're going to bring the toes and the heels together, sliding them up towards the groin. If you need blocks to support on the opening of the legs, You can bring them in now. Hands are out to your sides, palms face the ceiling, and breathe. See if you can connect with that root to crown breath from here, noticing the inhale, where you feel it enter the body, following the inhale up through the center channel of the body to the crown, and then releasing back down through the body. Good. Let's release the recline bound angle. Line the legs straight out in front of us. As I mentioned, we're going to do some digestive work here, opening the legs and the hips. So, activating the left leg, planting it firmly on the ground. On the inhale, we're going to raise the right leg up in front of us, the foot of the heel of the foot towards the ceiling. And then on the exhale, bending the leg down. Heel comes towards the butt. We're going to take our hands clasping underneath the knee, around the leg. The elbows come in towards their sides, and we're going to begin to compress the thigh towards the chest. And if your leg comes down towards your chest, you're going to just take it slightly off center towards the right, as if the right knee was going into the right armpit. Left leg stays activated, toes towards the ceiling. An advanced form of this posture is getting a grip with your right hand underneath the foot. Shoulders stay anchored to the floor. This requires a certain amount of hip flexion that you have to be really comfortable with. So if that's not right for you, just using the arms with some effort, no pain, but definitely taking ourselves to the point of resistance, bringing that right knee towards right armpit, firm across the back, anchoring the body. Here we're supporting the ascending colon, light massage to the organ, aiding in digestion and elimination. Taking one more breath here. Inhale and exhale. With the exhale, allowing the leg back down, joining the left leg on the ground. You can shake it out slightly if you'd like, bouncing the leg, supporting the hip. Good. Releasing the hands. Let's take a full inhale and exhale here. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Noticing any differences in the right hip, the left hip. On the next inhale, we're going to plant the right heel into the ground, activating the right leg, toes point towards the ceiling. Inhale, left leg up, bottom of the left foot, walking on the ceiling. On the exhale, bending the leg down towards the body. Left thigh coming towards left chest. The shoulders stay anchored on the floor. 10-finger grip. We're going to go underneath the knee and begin bringing the knee towards left armpit. Right leg stays activated. And working with the breath here. Inhale. Bring the leg slightly closer to the body. Exhale. Release any tension. Inhale. Gain length. Exhale. Release tension. Let's take 3 more breaths on this side at your own pace. On this side, we're working the descending colon. Coming down the left side of the body. Once again, aiding in digestion, elimination, supporting all the digestive organs here. On your next exhale, release the leg down to join the right leg on the floor. You can shake it out. And then let's take a breath together here. Inhale. Exhale down through the body, all the way through the knees, the shins, the feet, letting it all go. Good. And then we're going to bring both legs up towards the body. 10-finger grip, arms wrap around the legs. You can have a loose grip like this, or you can go for each elbow, but we want, no matter what, for the head to be resting on the mat, shoulders anchored to the floor. Here we're opening up both hips, using the breath to increase the stretch, opening up the low back, back of hips, supporting the transverse colon. And then you can begin to rock side to side if that feels good for you. Just opening the back even further. Good. Let's release both legs down. We're going to keep our heels, bottoms of the feet on the floor. We're going to transition into a bridge. So taking the palms flat onto the floor next to us. If you have a blanket, you might want to use your feet and just scoop it out of the way so that your feet can get a good grip on the mat. So heels of feet coming as close to the buttocks as comfortable for you. And connecting with the breath here. On the next inhale, we're going to take ourselves up. We're going to take 50% effort of our bridge as we kind of warm up into our bridge here. So just taking effort to about 50%, lifting the hips up off the floor, activating through the glutes, the hamstrings, the thighs. Feeling a slight stretch through the hip flexors, just breathing here. And on the next exhale, releasing down, rolling vertebrae down to the floor. Release. Taking an inhale breath here. And exhale. Let's do that again. 75% effort, 3/4 of the way up. Inhale to 75%. Holding here, active and engaged through the glutes, the hamstrings, the thighs, keeping the knees equidistant throughout the lift. On the next inhale, push yourself just 1 more inch and release. Taking an inhale breath here and exhale. 1 more time, inhale. And exhale on this next inhale breath. Let's go all the way up, 100% effort in the bridge. All the way up. You can clasp the hands underneath you if you'd like. Roll the shoulders for more height. Opening up the chest, pushing yourself to your limit. Inhale, push up one more degree further. And exhale, rolling the spine, release the arms, bringing the sacrum back down to the floor. Release the legs. Let's take a little mini Savasana here. Heels come together, feet fall open, palms outstretched, facing the ceiling. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Good. We're going to continue to twist the spine, opening up the digestive organs a little bit more. Here you're going to want your yoga strap or your belt, tie, whatever you have to support you today. Do a little bit of big toe stretch. If you have the range of motion to grab your foot from here while keeping your shoulders on the floor, then you don't need the strap, but clearly you can see that I need some support here. So beginning with the right leg, grab your strap. I'm going to bring right knee towards the chest, looping the strap just underneath the foot pads or the toe pads. And then lengthening through the left leg on the ground, anchoring the left heel into the ground, activating left leg, left foot. And we're just going to start here. I'm going to activate through my right foot, heel towards the ceiling. My grip on my strap can be up higher towards my foot. Can also bring elbows in towards the body here, whatever feels right for you today. And just allowing the right leg to open and extend with the breath. So here I like to feel in with the breath to where I feel the most resistance. For me, it's my hamstrings and my back of my knee. So you can even take one of your hands and just rub that area where you're feeling the tension. That'll do two things. One, it just brings awareness to the body, encouraging, I feel you, I feel that this is tight. But it also can send a neuro response in your brain with the breath to open up this area. So taking some time to intentionally send the breath to where you're feeling tightness. And just allowing the breath to open up that part of the body. Imagine the tension melting away like an ice cube. Good. If and when you're ready, you can check in with the left leg. We want a strong foundation here. You can take the left hand, place it on the left hip. We don't want the left hip to raise off of the ground when we open up to position B. So what we're going to do here is with the right hand, taking control of the strap, begin to open up the right leg towards the right side of the room. Once again, we don't want the left hip coming off the ground, so opening up to a height that's appropriate for you. Depending on where your legs are at today, you may want the support of a block. You might use 2 blocks. Finding what's right for you today. Allowing this to open up the outer hip on the right side, inner thigh on the right side, opening here. And that's why having the support of the blocks if you need it is so important because it creates some stability, allowing these muscles to really open up with the help of the breath. So we don't want to strain, we don't want pain, we just want opening, and we want to use the breath to increase that opening. Finding a position you can work with here that you can spend some time in breathing and connecting. If you don't have blocks, you can use pillows, books, anything to support you in this stretch. Good. And on the next inhale, we'll bring the right leg back up to center. Active left legs anchoring and supporting us. And we'll go ahead and transition on this right leg into position C. So here, we're going to switch the grip on the strap. The left hand will now take the grip on the strap. You can put your right hand on your right hip just as a reminder that we want this right hip to be an anchor point. The right hip can come up slightly off the mat as you rotate through across the body, but we don't want the right hip coming all the way off the floor. So bringing the right leg across the body slightly. If you have a wide range of motion, you can bring the blocks going as what feels as good for you. This is a big opening on the outside of the right leg for me. So I'm going to use the breath to support. Left leg is engaged, anchored on the floor. Right hip anchored on the floor. Shoulders anchored on the floor. And breathe. Let's do 2 more breaths here. Taking it to your furthest point today. On the next inhale, coming back to center. We're going to release the right leg down to the floor. Good. Evening out both legs. We'll take a quick 1 breath Savasana here. Inhale. And exhale. 1 more time. Inhale. And exhale. Just take a moment to observe the right hip, right leg in comparison to the left. And then let's get ready to open up the left side. So, once again, right leg anchors firmly into the ground. Toes face the ceiling, heel towards the mat. Strong in the right leg. We're going to begin by lifting the left thigh up towards the body. You can loop your strap around bottom of the pads on the left foot. I had a slight twisting of my knee today, so this side may look a little different for me today, but active foot on the left side as if you're walking on the ceiling. Finding the grips on your strap that feel good for you today. And then just begin to breathe here. Opening up through the left leg. Inviting the breath in to have a conversation. If you want, you can take your left hand and just bring awareness, physical touch awareness, to any points of tension in the leg. For me, it's still hamstrings, back of knee, some of the lateral side of the knee. Allowing the breath to open up the muscles, the tissue. The low back and the shoulders anchoring onto the mat, providing a strong foundation. Good, and we'll transition to position B of this posture. You can take your left hand, gripping your strap. Take the right hand, we're going to place it on the right hip, anchoring the hip into the ground. We don't want the hip to lift off the ground. Firm, strong right leg, allowing the left leg to open up to the left hand side. Lateral rotation, left hip. You can bring in the blocks to support you if that feels best for you today. Allowing the inside of the left thigh to open here, stretching the groin, and allowing the breath to open here. Engaged right leg, right foot, firm anchor, and breathe. Good. On your next inhale, let's bring the leg back up to center. And on the next exhale, I'm going to switch the grip. We'll transition right into the C version of this posture. So bring the right arm up, anchoring firm through the legs. You can bring your left hand to left hip as a reminder. We want this to stay rooted on the ground. It can lift slightly just above the butt cheek as you bring the leg over. Deep opening along the outside of the left leg from the hip all the way down through the ankle, through the pinky toe, through the big toe. Activating the foot. Breathing here. If you have a further range of motion, your leg may come all the way down to the ground. You may use blocks. This is where we're at today. Allowing the shoulders to anchor down into the mat. Legs stay active. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Really allowing the breath to open the legs, allow for new blood, new oxygen, movement of stagnant energy. On the next exhale, bring the leg back to center. And then gently bring the leg down towards the mat to meet the right leg. Shake it out slightly. Release the strap. Let's take a brief Savasana here. Heels together, toes fall open, palms face the ceiling. Inhale from toes to crown. Exhale, crown to toes. Beautiful. Let's do one more hip opening from our backs here. We're going to bring our feet as if we were going to go into bridge. Allowing the sacrum, the low back to settle firmly on the floor. And here we're going to take our right foot up towards the ceiling and then bring it over, back down and over so that the right heel is resting on left knee. In order to get the full extent of the hip opening here, there's going to be a slight engagement in the right hip as if I'm drawing the right knee towards the wall in front of me or whatever's in front of you. So it's almost as if you're bringing the knee towards the floor, but it's more of a direct movement out towards the wall in front of you. And then from here, this may be enough for you today. This might be enough of a hip opening for you that you say, whoa, that's enough for me. But if you want to, if you're ready, you can bring the left foot up off the ground. It can come up into the sky. You can lace your arms through. So right hand comes through the triangle that's formed by the legs. The left hand comes around to meet it. And then our chest, shoulders come back and relax onto the floor. So you can have your leg extended. You can also have it bent. I find I get a better stretch with it bent. That's just my body. So finding what's right for you. You can also introduce a strap here if you're having trouble with the grip. So you can thread the strap through the legs here. Breathing here. Inhale and exhale. Good. On your next exhale, release the left leg down. Take a pause and then release the right leg. Both legs can come down to the floor. Take a brief reset here. Inhale up through the toes, the feet, the legs all the way up through the body, through the crown. And then exhale down through the crown, through the chest, the belly, down the legs, out the toes. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Let's bring the legs back up for bridge stance. Bring the left leg up, bending it over right knee so that the left heel, right knee meet. Once again, we're going to open up this hip with a slight flexion, taking the knee down almost towards the floor, but more so towards the wall in front of you. So it's the difference is from, if you can watch my left knee, the difference is from here to here, just allowing for that extension, flexion of the hip to take place, that rotation of the hip. This may be enough for you today. If you're looking for more, you can bring the right leg up off the ground. We'll thread the hands through the legs, 10-finger grip behind the knee or a little above the knee. You can stay here, or you can also bend the right knee down, creating a series of angles with the legs. And then just begin encouraging the right leg towards the chest. Breathing here. release in the hips, the low back. May feel this in the groin, the inner thighs. Good. Let's take 2 more breaths on this side. Beautiful. On the next exhale, release the right foot down to the floor. Inhale, release the left leg down to the floor. You can come all the way down together, flat out in front of you. Let's take a brief Savasana here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. When you're ready, on the next inhale, roll over to your side. We're going to come up, supporting ourselves, coming into a seated position for a moment. Just recentering here. We're going to do a couple more back bends to counteract some of the shoulder opening that we did. And then we'll transition into a beautiful body scan meditation to close out our practice. While we're at this transition point, I just wanted to say thank you for your patience as we have new little creatures learning the ropes around here. So thank you for that. So we're going to transition now into a camel, and then we'll go from there into rabbit. So preparing yourself, you can support, we're going to be on our knees, so you can support your knees with a folded blanket. And coming up on your knees here. We haven't warmed up the spine completely today, so taking it easy with your camel and taking it in sections. So even here may be enough for you today. We're going to start with a firm foundation. Knees are about hip width distance apart. Tops of feet are flat on the floor. Starting with our posture up top, and our shoulders are going to roll down. Shoulder blades come towards the spine, opening the chest. Here you can, if you're ready to extend further, you can bring your hands towards the hips, the top of the hips, just above the butt cheeks. And begin bringing the elbows towards one another. This is going to open the chest slightly. And this may be enough for you today. Just breathing here. If you feel any lightheadedness or dizziness, you can take a child's pose. You can also just connect with the breath, breathe through it. If you're ready to advance, on the next inhale breath, you're going to begin pushing the hips towards the wall in front of you, pushing the hips forward, creating an arc in the low spine, and then following that shape, that C, all the way through the middle back, upper back. Continuing to open across the chest and the sternum. We're going to keep the chin tucked for now. On the next inhale, you can continue back, finding connection with the fingers and the heels, creating a wheel with the body. Traditionally, chin would stay connected to the chest. You can play with dropping the chin back. It's kind of untraditional, but it can feel good. Breathing here, pushing through the hips, stabilizing the base. On the next inhale, we'll begin coming out of this with some control. So coming out the way you came in, honoring each phase as we slowly come back to standing on our knees. We can come down into all fours and then transition down into a child's pose. Arms stretch out in front of you, forehead meets the floor, and breathe. Allow the tension in the low back to release with the breath. Good. On the next inhale, come up to hero's pose. And here we're going to start setting out for a rabbit. So finding your breath. We want to extend up through the crown, tallest spine. We're going to tuck the chin to the chest, and as if the vertebrae are rolling in on each other, like how we would roll this strap like this. That's what we're going to do with our spine. So it's going to roll in on itself here. And as we do that, the goal is going to be putting the forehead towards the knees, and we'll begin lifting up through the tailbone. So take a nice inhale in. On the exhale, begin rolling yourself into a ball forward. Once the forehead meets the knees, you can begin to lift up, taking a grip on the heels to create some tension, and then begin rolling forward. There should be very little weight on the top of your head. Most of the weight's coming from the resistance you're building with holding onto the heels. If your forehead does not touch the knees, you're not really ready to go into the full expression, but you can bring a block in if needed, if that's helpful. Stretching through the tops of the shoulders, the back of the shoulder girdle. Extending up. 2 more breaths here. Try rolling the shoulders down towards the spine. And on the next exhale, release your seat down to your heels and begin unraveling the spine up, curling up. Chin stays attached to the chest all the way up. Chin's the last thing to come up. As we straighten the spine, let's take a breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. We're going to come around onto our seat. Do just a little bit of spine twisting. If you want to take a seat on your blanket, you're most welcome to. Legs are going to stretch out in front of us. Sort of a staff pose here briefly. We're going to take the right leg Bring it up over the right knee, so the right heel is planted on the side of left knee. My right arm's going to be a kickstand behind me. Left arm reaches up towards the ceiling, over the right knee, and you can drop the forearm down so that your left hand is on right hip. And then we're going to begin to twist, looking at the back side of the room, staying nice and tall through the posture. Top of head reaches towards the ceiling. Breathing here. Take 2 more breaths here, allowing your rotation to open with the breath. Good. On the next exhale, release, untwisting the spine, coming back to center. You can release the leg down, shake it out slightly. Take a reset breath here in and out. The next inhale, bringing the left leg up and over right leg. Left heel comes on the outside of the right knee. Left hand will kickstand behind me. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, right arm down. Right elbow outside of left knee. You can stay here. Continue to twist. You can also drop the forearm down, allowing the right hand to rest on the left hip. Whatever is most comfortable for you today. Using the breath, allowing for the rotation. Head and neck become an extension of the spine. Good. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And when you're ready on the exhale, release the twist. Legs straight out in front of you. You can shake them out just a little bit. And taking any last movements you need to here, if you want to do a slight forward fold, or if there's anything left they need to wiggle out, go ahead and do so. We're going to transition into Savasana. I'm going to show you how you can build a restorative posture to take your Savasana. We're going to do a brief body scan. And so if you have the props with you and you would like to do a supported chest opener, you can set your blocks up so that you have leveled blocks at an angle. You can place a long body pillow or bolster on top of that. You can place a blanket for your seat. Getting the tailbone just up against the prop, you can begin to melt your spine along the bolster and allow the shoulders to fall open. You can have your feet straight out in front of you or in bound angle. You can also use your strap to support your opening if that feels good for you. If you don't have the props or you just want to take a traditional Savasana, take time now, get yourself comfy. You can lie flat on your back. You may have a bolster pillow under your legs. Perhaps you lie a blanket on top of you. And just settle in. So we'll be here for the next 5 minutes or so. Lying here, noticing where your body connects to the mat. Feeling the shoulder points as they ground in. The hips, back of hips as they ground in. Tailbone and legs. And then noticing the breath. And if you're able, allowing the breath to become a flowing meditation, feeling the breath on the inhale rise through your feet, through the center channel of the body, up the legs, up the hips, the stomach, the chest, through the throat, the nose, the brain, all the way up through the crown. And then allowing the exhale to wash back down the body like a cleansing rain. All the way down the legs, through the feet. And then allow the cycle to repeat at your own pace. Allowing any chatter in the mind to still. Inviting the body to completely relax. Take you through a brief body scan to aid the body, the mental body, the emotional body, the etheric body to all come into union. Imagining a light, any color light you choose, just above the head. And now imagine this beautiful light representing peace, representing gratitude, representing kindness, whatever you're in need of today. And now inviting that light into the crown of the head. Notice as the head fills with this awareness of this light. Allowing this light to spread down the skull, behind the ears, relaxing the jaw, releasing any tension from the brow, the nose, the lips. As it comes down the chin, bringing this light into the throat, soothing and comforting the throat, down into the chest, across the chest into the arms, fingertips, feeling this light in the heart, allowing it to fill your heart and your chest cavity, every rib, and the space between, down into your upper abdomen, lower abdomen, down into the low back, the sacrum, the hips, the tailbone, the groin. melting this light down into the upper thighs, the hamstrings, the knees, 360 degrees, down into the lower leg and the shins, feeling this light now in the ankles and the heels and the top of the foot and the pinky toes, the fourth toe, the third toe, the second toe, and the big toe. Now rooting this light, this beautiful light of kindness, love, like earth underneath you. Planting it as a seed to take with you today. Now allowing this light to radiate through you as you relax into a deep, satisfying Savasana. I'm going to bring you back with the sound of Om. Thank you for joining me today. The light in me honors and acknowledges the light in you. Namaste. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Thank you so much for being here and for your patience and allowing Ursa to play with us for a bit. Have a blessed, beautiful day.